Hey there, welcome back to my studio. This is Mary Correa. Today I wanted to share with you a few ways I get started when I have a blank page in my art journal. I've said many times that starting is the hardest part. So, what you really need to do is develop a toolkit of all these tips and tricks that you can use. So, when you come to your journal and you're feeling uninspired, you already have a place to start. So, today I'm going to show you a few of my favorites. This first technique I'm going to show you is super simple, and you could do this on many pages in your journal. So the pages I'm working on, the first two pages I'm working on today are gessoed already. I prefer to gesso my pages, but that's completely up to you. And what I did was I grabbed my favorite color, which is a shade of teal, and a baby wipe. And I am going to color that entire page with that teal and that baby wipe. And you'll see I'll come back. I'll make some areas a little darker. And you can see with the baby wipe, I'm still moving it around. I'm trying to get a little bit of energy into the movement of the paint. I'm not just doing a straight up and down. I really have no idea what this page will end up becoming. So I don't know if any of this background is going to show or not. But if it does, I still want it to have a little bit of interest. So that's why I use the baby wipe the way I do. You could do the same with a brush, but I feel like it puts a lot of paint on. With the baby wipe, you just need a little dab of paint and you can cover that whole page super quick. You can see I'm already done there. So the second technique is using your stencils. We all have stencils. And one of the quickest ways to get something on your page is just to grab a couple stencils. Now, my general rule is to pick something that's similar so it doesn't become crazy in the background. And because I'm working in a larger journal, I've grabbed 3 different sizes of stencils. And by sizes, I mean the size of the opening in the stencil. So I have this one here that's a very large opening. I have another circle one that has kind of a medium, and then I have that tiny little polka dot one. So I'm going to use those, and again, I've just picked 2 colors that are pretty close to each other on the color wheel, because then I don't have to worry about making muddy colors or icky browns or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just going to pick 2 colors. So if a couple blues, you can even, go to a blue and a green. But just keep them really close together on the color wheel. And again, pick your favorite colors. If you're feeling uninspired, go back to the stuff that feels comfortable. And again, who knows how much of this will still be visible whenever you're done. But I find that sometimes when I'm just sitting there staring at a white page, the hardest part is just figuring out where to start. So if there's already something on my page, that kind of frees me up a little bit so that I can just go ahead and start creating from there. It's almost like my brain thinks that, oh, step 1's done, so I can go ahead and go to step 2. I don't know if that's what it actually is, but that's what it feels like. So here I'm using that medium-sized stencil, and you can see it's not an exact duplicate, but it's still circle related. We all have, several stencils that kind of mimic each other. And if you don't have 3 stencils that mimic each other, it's fine. I just find that easier. Again, it's less decisions I have to make when I'm feeling uninspired. There are times that I will grab 4 different stencils that are completely unrelated, but they're speaking to me at the time. If I'm not having things speak to me, I just go easy and I grab a circle. So I'll finish up, and you see I switched colors. I went back to that lighter blue. So those 2 colors are really, really close to each other. One's just slightly darker. And I'm just going to mix the 2. And you can see with stencil, I like to use the little Tim Holtz tool. But you could do the same thing with a makeup sponge, a brush, whatever you normally like to stencil with. And do remember, as the sizes of opening on your stencils get smaller and smaller, It'll be better to kind of pounce your tool up and down as opposed to rubbing it across. The smaller openings, it's harder to get a clearer definition when you're just rubbing across. So there, I have something on the page. I always see spots where I need a few more polka dots, but it gives me something to start with. And you can see I pulled that stencil a little bit onto that page I did with the baby wipe, because if this becomes a 2-page spread, it'll already have something that ties in together. So here is our 3rd page. We're going to work on some collage. So there are so many tools you can use to collage. Gel medium, collage medium, a glue stick, matte medium, PVA glue. So whatever you have handy, go ahead and grab. I'm using up the bottom of this Dina Wakley gel medium because I have, I think, 5 almost empty jars, and they just sit on my desk. So I've decided to grab that palette knife and dig all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and use up everything that I can here. So I like to put a big section of gel medium down, and then I start grabbing my papers. So these papers were just out of my little collage bag that I have. I just keep all these little bits and pieces in a bag next to my desk. So there's some book page, there's some Tim Holtz tissue in there, and then that blue and white chevron pattern is a little gift bag that I got from somewhere, and I just shoved it in there. So I'm going to add a couple pieces of that. And you see I just keep coming back, adding more gel medium, and then I go ahead and add more paper, and I will fill up this entire page. So now you have 3 starts in an art journal. You could even keep going and just repeating this over and over and fill up several pages so that you have them ready to go whenever you're ready. So I want to thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Now, have a great day and happy arting.